Everyone, and welcome to today's video. This is level A2, Unit 20, Lesson 2. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about have to and need to. So you'll learn how to express necessity and obligation when talking about your favorite sports. Alright, so if something is necessary, it means that you need to do it. So here, excuse me, but you have to fasten your seatbelt before the plane takes off. You have to clean your teeth twice a day. You have to wash the car, it's dirty. And the cat is hungry, you have to feed it. And then want, I want to do it. Each person wants to do something, and so what do they have to do in order to get what they want? Nika wants to get 100% on her math exam, so she has to study. Arvid wants to speak English perfectly, so he also has to study. Shimon wants to be a dentist. He has to go to dental school. And Liwa wants to travel to Europe next week, or next year. She also has to study, save her money, plan the trip. All right, I want to run a marathon. A marathon is a 26-mile or 42-kilometer running race, and you have to prepare for many weeks. So we're going to listen to the first part of the recording, and what does Steve say you have to do?
When I began training for a marathon, I was a complete beginner. I was quite fit, but I wasn't in the habit of running regularly. I think the first thing to remember is that you have to give yourself enough time to prepare. Running a marathon is not an easy thing to do, and I started training 6 months before the date of the race.
All right, so what does Steve say you have to do? He said you have to give yourself time to prepare. It's difficult to run a marathon, and most people have to train for many months. It's also important to eat well and get plenty of sleep. All right, again, we're going to listen to Steve again and then answer whether these questions are true or false.
When I began training for a marathon, I was a complete beginner. I was quite fit, but I wasn't in the habit of running regularly. I think the first thing to remember is that you have to give yourself enough time to prepare. Running a marathon is not an easy thing to do, and I started training 6 months before the date of the race. You have to build up gradually. Don't try to run too far or too fast at the beginning. It's also important to realize that you don't have to run every day. 3 to 5 times a week is enough. You can do other types of exercise on your days off. Swimming, yoga, or weights are all popular choices. But you have to give your body a chance to recover. If you push yourself too hard, you increase the risk of an injury. It's a good idea to buy some comfortable running shoes that fit well. You don't have to spend a fortune on top-of-the-line shoes, but it's definitely worth trying on several pairs to see which one suits you best. Your feet will thank you for it. When the big day finally arrives, eat carbohydrates to give you energy and make sure that you drink enough water. You will probably feel nervous and excited, but you have to be careful not to start too fast. Stick to the plan, and hopefully all your training will pay off. Good luck!
Okay, according to Steve, you have to build up gradually. That is true. You have to run every day. That was false. He said 3 to 5 times a week was enough. You have to recover after exercising. That is true. You have to spend a lot of money on shoes. That's false. And you have to drink enough water. That is true. All right, now listen again, and this time we're going to try to put these items in the order in which Steve mentions them.
When I began training for a marathon, I was a complete beginner. I was quite fit, but I wasn't in the habit of running regularly. I think the first thing to remember is that you have to give yourself enough time to prepare. Running a marathon is not an easy thing to do, and I started training 6 months before the date of the race. You have to build up gradually. Don't try to run too far or too fast at the beginning. It's also important to realize that you don't have to run every day. 3 to 5 times a week is enough. You can do other types of exercise on your days off. Swimming, yoga, or weights are all popular choices. But you have to give your body a chance to recover. If you push yourself too hard, you increase the risk of an injury. It's a good idea to buy some comfortable running shoes that fit well. You don't have to spend a fortune on top-of-the-line shoes, but it's definitely worth trying on several pairs to see which one suits you best. Your feet will thank you for it. When the big day finally arrives, eat carbohydrates to give you energy and make sure that you drink enough water. You will probably feel nervous and excited, but you have to be careful not to start too fast. Stick to the plan, and hopefully all your training will pay off. Good luck!
All right, so the order was B, number 1, is giving yourself time to prepare. Number 2 is D, building up speed and distance over time. Number 3 is E, how often to run. Number 4 is doing other exercise. Number 5 is A, buying the right shoes. Number 6 is G, the food to eat. And number 7 is C, how you will feel on the day of the race. All right, so what do you think? It's not always necessary, so see if you agree or disagree with these statements. You have to sleep at least 7 hours a night. You have to eat a good breakfast every morning. You have to eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. And you have to exercise every day. You don't have to eat breakfast. You don't have to exercise every day. You don't have to eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. You don't have to sleep at least 7 hours a night. So there's really no right or wrong. These are more just your opinion. All right, so have to and don't have to. We use have to for necessity. I have to clean the house. You have to eat more fruit. He has to do his homework. She has to exercise. We have to go to school. They have to drink more water. Now you can also use must for necessity. Must is a little more formal, but it's used the same way. The only thing is that you don't have to put to after must. With have to, it's always have to, and must is just must. Don't have to is when something is not necessary. I don't have to go to school today. You don't have to work tonight. He doesn't have to go to the meeting. She doesn't have to eat breakfast. We don't have to go to that lesson. They don't have to cook dinner. All right, so now complete the sentences with either have to or has to. You can pause the video while you do that, try it on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, number 1 should be she has to finish her homework. We want to go on vacation, so we have to save money. They want to be doctors, so they have to study very hard. Dean and Sarah have to look for a new house. Jason has to study harder. He failed his exam. I have to go now. The train comes in 5 minutes. You have to learn a lot of grammar to speak English well. Sarah leaves for parents tonight and she has to pack her luggage. All right, now you're going to complete with either have to, has to, doesn't have to, or don't have to. And pause the video while you do this on your own, and then you can restart to check the answers. Right, number one, Diane has to leave now. It's 3:25 and she has a meeting in 5 minutes. It's the weekend, so we don't have to go to school. You don't have to wear a hat today because it's not sunny. There isn't any food in the fridge. You have to go shopping. Alan doesn't have to buy a ticket because I bought a ticket for him yesterday. Noah and Aaron have to travel to New York this weekend. Their friends are getting married. Tina feels sick. She has to go to the doctor. All right, do you think it's difficult to stay fit and healthy? These days, many people find it difficult to juggle their personal and professional lives, as it becomes harder and harder to cram everything into our busy schedules. Fitness is one area we often neglect. All right, so we're going to read an article about staying fit and healthy. So first, let's look at the vocabulary words. Chore is a task that is necessary, but that is not fun. Motivation is how much you want to do something. This is an example of a Zumba class, and this is an example of a Pilates class. All right, and now you can either pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Choice of activity. For those of us who are not naturally sporty, the key is to find an activity that you enjoy so that it doesn't feel like a chore. The good news is that you don't have to join a gym and you don't have to go running. Walking is fine, or you can make exercise more fun by signing up for a Zumba or Pilates class. Consistency. You have to make exercise part of your normal routine. You don't have to exercise every day, but 30-minute sessions per week is a good goal. Once you start to feel better, once you start to feel fitter, your motivation will increase and it will become easier to stick to the schedule. All right, so are these statements true or false? You have to do an activity that you enjoy. Well, that was true. You don't have to join a gym. That's true. You have to go running. That's false. And you have to exercise regularly. That's true. All right, here are two more vocabulary words. Amount means the quantity, and to keep an eye on something means to be careful about something. And a strict teacher is one that makes you follow the rules. Again, you can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Portion size. Many people eat too much. Then they try to lose weight and they don't eat enough. To get fit, you have to eat the right amount. It's important to try and eat a balanced diet, but you don't have to be too strict. You just need to keep an eye on how much you eat. Sleep. It's hard to stay motivated and eat well if you're tired. Everyone is different, but you have to make sure that you get enough sleep. Going to bed and getting up at the same time every day can help. All right, so what do you think these people are saying? Well, the mom might be saying, you have to listen to me, you have to eat your vegetables, You have to clean up your room. You have to do your homework. So, what do you have to do? So, every game has rules, and what game or sport do you like to play? So, these girls are playing basketball. So, in basketball, you have to bounce the ball and you have to score points. Can you think of two rules for each of these games or sports? So, hockey, you have to skate on the ice and hit the puck with your stick. In a board game, you have to throw the dice and then move the number of spaces that the dice land on. In tennis, you have to hit the ball over the net and return it when it's hit to you. And with baseball, you have to hit the ball and then run to the base. You have to run to the bases. All right, so now think about your favorite sport and maybe write some sentences about the things that you have to do when you're playing your own favorite sport. That brings us to the end of today's video. Please share, subscribe, like, and if you have any questions, please leave those for me in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.